Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Metaphor und dem Beagle. Wir haben letzte Folge einen Haufen Exposition gehabt und erfahren, was der Protagonist eigentlich ist oder wer er ist. Eigentlich hat er genau genommen nie gelogen, davon ab, dass er es eh nicht wusste. Er war der beste Freund des Prinzen, aber naja, der unsichtbare beste Freund des Prinzen. Er ist das, was der Prinz so gerne sein wollte, was er nicht sein konnte durch seinen Fluch. Jetzt bleibt natürlich die Frage offen, ist der Prinz selbst so magisch mächtig? Also warum wir Archetypen benutzen können, steht fest, weil wir eine reine Maglerform waren. Magler? Ich glaube es ist Magler? Ach, diese Magie-Sachen, die sie da haben. Wir waren pure Magie, dass wir also Magie benutzen konnten in einer Form wie niemand sonst. Das ist nicht gerade ungewöhnlich, wenn man pur aus Magie besteht. Aber ich kann mir vorstellen, einen Menschen pur aus seinen Gedanken zu erschaffen, ist schon ein gutes Stück Magie. Also, und das, obwohl der Prinz damals ein kleines Kind war. Interessant. Interessant. Er scheint ja dann die königliche Magie durchaus zu besitzen. Fraglich ist, beziehungsweise was heißt die königliche Magie? Es wird ja auch gesagt, dass die Elder generell ziemlich viel Magie besitzen. Oh, wir können mit Feen reden. Jo. Hallo. Okay, danke, du komische Fee. Dann werden wir jetzt mal losgehen und rausfinden, warte mal, da ja, was die Elder eigentlich im Grunde sind. Ich glaube, dass Louis zur Hälfte ungefähr recht hatte mit dem, was Elder sind. Auf jeden Fall ein sehr magisches Volk, wenn die Feen hier leben wie nix.
Does this depict the Elder tribe?
Elda comes from an ancient word, meaning only the old ones.
Das dachte ich mir
It was
schon.
an alias given by our ancestors to outsiders who visited the village in the distant past. As for our original name, you know it well by now. We were humans.
Okay, das damit hatte recht.
So Luis's words.
There is no human tribe. Tribes, as we know them today, did not exist then. We were all one people. Humankind.
A world united. But wait. The ruins on Virga Island. There's nothing left of the civilization today. Was it destroyed? Why? How?
A war. One that all but destroyed the world past. But its destruction was born of the discovery of Magla. Or as you call it today, magic. Do you wonder what they battled over? Without the divided tribes, what could
wir
they
Menschen
have
sind darin
disagreed
gut.
on? They were racked by division. Over the abstract, undefinable idea of rightness. They tried to destroy something invisible. And destroyed only themselves. And any idea of absolute rightness is born of fear. That fear flooded the world and gave way to war. And their age of prosperity came to be called the world before.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
The people we now call tribes were either born of artificial division for the sake of the war effort, or natural adaptation to survive the hellscape after.
Also alle Stämme sind tatsächlich nur eine Anpassung an die Natur und die
I know
Begebenheiten.
they'd rather live in a world without tribal division. And yet the truth is, that world's already fallen apart. More than that, it's how we all got here.
Such drastic physical changes would normally have taken eons to effect. Accelerated by Magla,
Horizon Zero
it
Dawn.
was only a matter of a scant few centuries. You understand now, yes? We, the Elda, are the survivors of the old world. Our ancestors fled the flames of war and thus escaped the ensuing divisions.
Disbelief. It is nothing short of astounding. But then, why do we know these monsters as humans?
Das ist die Frage.
End, both sides were consumed by fear. Their magical assaults escalated with each retaliation, until it was beyond all control. Our world became a hell. Rampant magla distorts the body and mind. By now, I'm sure you know that better than you ever wished to. Humans are what remains of that branch of humankind that succumbed to melancholia. Broken, horrifying testaments to their own mistakes in the
Also ist
war
diese
of
Magie
magic.
unfassbar
Some
gefährlich im
persist,
Grunde.
breed, and multiply as any beast does. Others live centuries of agony before their lives burn out. Even we do not know the full scope of their nature. Regardless, when the 8 tribes settled in this land, our claim to the human legacy was forgotten. To the people, the name only meant slavering, insane monsters. Therefore, we took on an alias instead. The same one by which we are known today. The Elda.
Das war mir irgendwie schon
The
klar,
old
hatte ich euch am
world couldn't
Anfang ja
control
gesagt.
its magic. And wait, how does the Sanctus Church fit in? All this revisionist history to spread their magic igniters.
Indeed, what are magic igniters to you? Tools for the church to shackle the people, perhaps? Or weapons that hide magic's true potential? Am I close to the mark? In truth, it's the opposite. Igniters are tools made to limit magic. Restraints made in self-discipline, meant to avert a repeat of history's destructive mistakes. The Sanctus Church of today is muddied by greed, but its faith was born of good intentions. They once
Ist es nicht immer so?
self-control, and thus control of one's personal magic. At times, they preached we must close our eyes to the truth when it would only lead us to ruin. By this benign tenet, history was obscured, and the Elder denounced.
I had no idea. There's a grim irony in that.
His Majesty only hid his son's ancestry to protect him. Yet in the end, that meant Worden could attack the village under any pretext he liked, his motives concealed.
With all that said, you have now reclaimed your true form. The friends that stand with you are of different tribes and ideologies, but of one mind. As you are now, you may walk the path of the rightful king. The path of a modern world, where the tribes walk as individuals, yet with mutual respect and cooperation.
The sovereign's power, thou king to be, entrusted with the will of the people. To bear their hopes is to be their rock in the storm, and to face anxiety in their names. Yet, anxiety itself is not something to blindly reject or desperately cast away. It begins with a simple thing, acknowledging its existence. Accept thy weakness, walk forward alongside it, and thou wilt grow strong and true in its company.
And besides,
Ich kriege noch eine Kraft. Nochmal? Was habe ich denn jetzt für einen Archetyp? What? Ach, da guckt sogar meine Zuckermaus. Seine Majestät.
let's do it.
Soll ich dir helfen beim Kratzen, Zuckermaus? Ich glaube, ihr jucken die Öhrchen.
Let's fight.
That's it.
Ich will meinen
I've
Sucher
made up
aber
my
nicht
mind.
aufgeben.
I'm with you to the end, no matter what.
Where's this coming from?
Before we got there, this guiding voice thing told me my duties were over. But what am I gonna do? Just go, okay, bye? Especially after we've come this far together? No. I'm going to face Luis with you. Even if it is scary.
Even you've got to cope with anxiety, eh?
I realized something in our travels. Anxiety can lead people astray. But overcoming it
Ohne Angst wird
makes
es
the
keine
person
Entwicklung
stronger.
geben.
There's always anxiety in the unknown. I know what it's like to be afraid of something I don't understand. That's why I think it's my duty to help people face and connect with their anxiety. Is that okay? From now on, it's not about orders. I'm with you, because I want to be.
Ist okay, Bloom.
I'll be counting on you as always.
Same here. Sit close to me, okay?
Ey, gib mir die 8.
Well,
Stufe.
we're past the worst of it. But the problem remains. Luis's dark magic. We've seen it turn the boy into a monster. And no doubt he can
Geht
do
das
it
jetzt
again.
wirklich noch?
A forbidden spell, turning sane mortals into the fearsome human monsters. In other words, a destabilizing magic, turning a person's magla into a snarl beyond control. This man named Luis. He may have his own past in this ancient sanctum.
Luis has been here? What do you know of him?
What do you wish to know?
Who exactly is Luis?
Every time I heard of his doings in the wider world, I felt more and more sure that Luis is from this village. His knowledge of humans, his skills in magic, his grasp of darker arts. They're all beyond a mere soldier to begin with, however prodigious. As it happens, a name does occur. Among those old families who perished in the fire, there was one by the name of Caradrius, a family of doctors, I believe. In an effort to better heal the ills of the people, they had studied
Der hat ja überhaupt
spells
gar
much
nichts
like the
verstanden.
ones he now exploits. The details are long since lost to the fire. But if Luis bears our legacy, that may be the reason for his vast knowledge.
Wait. What about Luis's ambition? The vision Rella saw. Do you think he actually wants to turn everyone in the kingdom into humans?
There is no known magic strong enough to turn many people at once, and none that can be cast quickly.
Even if it was possible, I don't know what it would accomplish. But this is Luis we're talking about. Who knows what he's thinking?
What do you wish to know?
What is this forbidden spell?
The essence of magic is in the control of Magla. However, just as its chaos may be calmed, it can also be deliberately pushed out of control. That was what you saw. He whipped your innate magic to a frenzy and you were lost to melancholia. Just as the humans of the ancient war once were. In every age, the cause and effect are the same. People learn fear, become slaves to their anxiety, suffer, and thus, the power of magic is born.
Pardon me. You mean to say anxiety is the source of all magic?
Magla is a substance born of the heart, generated when one feels anxiety or fear. By certain means, it may be kindled into power. That is what we call magic. In this way, it is by virtue of the anxiety in our hearts that we gain the power to overcome it. Magic is a natural process, and anxiety is its invaluable, irreducible fuel. But in turn, those burdened with more anxiety and fear produce more and more magla from their hearts. Without the willpower to face your fear, the magla overflows. Uncontrollable by magic, it can give rise to strange and terrible happenings as it manifests, with the world embroiled in chaos. These outbursts of swollen magic may be happening all across our kingdom.
'Tis the answer to everything. The melancholia crystals, the beasts driven feral, The very land is erupting with the weight of its people's fears.
Hold on. If Luis's art is rooted in bringing out this chaos, then anyone might be next. He said he became a monster because he's Elder, but that wasn't the complete story. If what you say is true...
Indeed. All people today are ultimately descendants of humankind. If Luis so chooses, he could turn anyone into a human monster. Yet as long as you have the strength to confront your fears, even this transformation may be defied and overcome.
But if he would turn people into humans, if in the unlikely event that happens...
If there is any motive for such cruelty, it can only be hatred. If Luis is truly from this village, then their fire would have cost him everything. Such unjust tragedy could easily beget a thirst for revenge, even if it meant wielding a magic that twisted life into something terrible, instead of uplifting it. Indeed, it seems the opposite of an archetype. A truly dark power.
Who goes there? Someone flees!
That's him. The malformed assassin who struck at the prince. He's bound for the woods.
Der will Louis alles verraten. Jesus Christ, das dürfen wir nicht zulassen. Wird Zeit, dass wir den klatschen. Oh, sorry. Er will alles Louis verraten. Und das können wir nicht zulassen. Denn das ist unser Masterplan. Louis denkt, wir können nirgendwo mehr hin.
So it was you behind the attack?
Indeed it was. I killed the prince, though he died all too easily. And the odd thing was, his aura felt awfully similar to yours.
Ich glaube, Louis hat bei ihm auch diese
So I
Macht
decided to
angewendet,
bide
ihn
my
zu einem
time a
Menschen zu
while and
verwandeln.
listen. And it's a good thing I did. There really is something stranger going on. Who are you? Are you the prince or not? Whatever your answer, I must report back to Lord Luis.
Do you have any idea what Luis is really scheming? If he becomes king, everyone in this country is doomed.
If that is what Lord Luis so desires, then I shall see it done.
It's almost impressive how blind your faith in him is.
I suppose it's just easier to follow instead of thinking for himself. He's forgotten anything he really wants.
What do you intend to do? The crown is too heavy a burden for your reedy frame. Lord Luis is the true king, who will save the worthy. And you are nothing but a powerless imposter, only fit to be sacrificed.
He is no imposter, fiend. His Highness has finally taken his first steps on the road to victory. Here, at his journey's end, after enduring these countless hardships, he has become a true successor, a true ruler. Because he knows the people's suffering firsthand.
Well, imposter or not, it's all the same if he's a corpse. And so I shall return the prince and his dying legacy to the underworld, where they belong.
Bastard! I wondered why you ran away. But it was all to lure us straight to this monstrosity.
Keep your guard up. The Melancholia is fueling his magic power.
We've come too far to be stopped by something like him. Let's put our power on full display.
This guy shows up again just when we've unlocked some new power. Kinda feels like fate by now. Okay, time for a new fight. Stay on your toes. Alright,
okay.
let's take it down and then get after Zorba.
Heldenhieb.
I'll cut through.
Das macht schon ordentlich Schaden.
Raging fire!
Now. The power of Reich.
I can do this.
Versuchen wir mit allem, macht Schaden.
The enemy stands.
Oh, das sind mehrere Dinge, die ich angreifen kann. Gut zu wissen. Ich muss die Äpfel erst wieder zerstören.
We've got to do something about those apples.
Ja, hab schon verstanden.
Let me handle those apples. All right.
Danke, Gallica.
Now it can't heal itself anymore. Don't waste your chance. Get in there.
Ja.
Behold this power.
I call upon royal power within.
Der Schaden stimmt aber.
It is your turn.
Oh, ja. Das müssen wir uns jetzt nicht immer angucken.
Weiter's power. Still here?
Ich sag doch, ich bin überlevelt.
I shall vanquish evil. Tougher than I thought.
I pray you're ready. I'm sorry, everyone.
Ach Quatsch, wir haben ihn fast.
More apples? Quick, knock them off again.
So viel zum wir haben ihn fast. Sollte aber trotzdem reichen. Schwert des Windgotts, okay.
Satisfactory.
I shall rise to be.
I shall strive to
Tremble before.
Yes, it feels like I'm making progress. The bastard got away.
I say, you chaps boggle the mind. It's no mean feat to fight on even footing with a human.
I'd hoped as much. You may yet have the power to face Luis at his full strength.
It's good to see you're safe. We've certainly taken these powers a long way. Maybe we thought ourselves invincible, but don't worry. At long last, the prince is safe. In a manner of speaking. Everything's going according to plan.
Still, what's our next move? The people think you a monster. We'll not find any public backing like this.
Alces once said that His Highness the Prince was a soul born into adversity. He is royalty and elder both, heir to the legacies of heaven and earth. He is water and fire, in condemned conflux. When the day comes that His Highness may be revered as the good ruler he can be, then the world will truly be free of prejudice. And that, he said, is why we fight.
In his own words, huh? We have to fight for what he believed in. All the more reason we can't turn from this.
Right.
come what may. My life is a shield raised in your highness's name. Are you prepared to fight Luis to the bitter end?
Of course. I'm prepared.
Yes. That determination is how we'll stop him.
If he ends up king, he'll be sending all traitors to the gallows. Not just us, but any innocent folks he doesn't find use for.
Look, I'm never giving up hope either, okay? All we have to do is beat him, right?
That's about what it comes down to, yes.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. But we work best under pressure anyway.
You
I'm still amazed. You really do look just like your mother. Truly, you are a child of fate. Your mother, she loved your father and you with all her heart. The injustice that befell this village is not your fault. But listen well. Once you leave this village, you cannot return until you have fulfilled your ambitions. After all, an old crone like me can't take care of you forever. If you want to overcome your hardest challenges,
also komm, sag mal ein bisschen netter zu dir selbst.
them yourself. The world's fate is in your hands. Please, put an end to the tragedies of humankind's failures.
Yes, I will.
Our final battle lies ahead. We cannot lose. Yet, before all else, His Highness has only just awoken. Let us rest in the gauntlet runner for today, and advance to the royal capital tomorrow.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? I was convinced we'd been together for a long time. But I can't believe we've only just met. The beginning of my journey may have been a false memory. But my journey with you and the memories we've made, those are all real. Well, guess I'm repeating myself. But I'm glad we're working together.
Stay beside me forever.
Well, when you put it like that, you're gonna make me blush. But thanks.
Endlich! Mann!
The mystical
Jetzt kann ich endlich Hulkenbergs Magier weiterentwickeln.
We've got the path to tomorrow in front of us, and I'm
Der
gonna lead the way.
Elementmeister und den Hexer. Mal sehen, was für die Hulkenberg besser ist.
When things get tough, remember this magic. The music meant for you will play in your head. By the way, the chiefess told me something about your novel. Apparently your parents gave you that book when you were still just a kid. I wonder what your parents wanted you to get from reading it. What they hoped for you, I guess. I suppose you'll have to find out for yourself. The part we're reading today is the last chapter. It's about the...
Hoppala, sorry.
The last chapter is about the ruler of a utopia. The one who governs this utopia must have an unwavering will. To maintain justice in this world, there are innumerable obstacles to overcome. Yet, as long as one lives by their ideals, those who support them are sure to follow. A utopia is not the creation of a single mind or a single power. It is a world shaped by all its people.
Ich glaube, am Ende wird es keinen richtigen König geben, sondern eher einen Tisch mit allen Völkern, also allen Stämmen an einem Tisch.
May one day fray at the edges, and its people may come to conflict over the question of what is right, what is a true utopia, what is a true ruler. None have yet found the answers to these questions. So even the author of this book struggled with these questions. And if you become... Lady Cruiday mentioned the king was a real idealist when he first arrived at the village, that little by little, the pains of reality crushed his hope. And he even lost his son. In the end, his will was broken. He didn't lift a finger to stop the church's rise to power. With that in mind, I can honestly see why people would be drawn to Luis. His values are radical and cruel, but he's devoted to them. Unshakable.
Ja, aber nicht jeder mit einer Meinung hat recht.
We can't lose either. For the sake of everyone who has believed in us along the way.
Right.
You've got the power to change the world. And the one who gave it to you was, well, yourself. And that's what I'm going to help you with. That's my mission. My real mission. And I'm going to see it through.
Er holt uns. Hat er sich jetzt auch erinnert?
I saw what happened. So, you found a way to unequivocally shape your destiny. As far as I know, there is no record of your newly acquired archetype ever being used, even in ancient times. An archetype whose existence was only theoretical, known to some scholars as the magic of true sovereignty. Indeed, a power of legend. I once said that to be Elda was your inescapable fate. However, it seems the truth was more complex than that. Magic is a process by which we confront fate and tame anxiety. And archetypes are its essence. They are manifestations of a resolve capable of heroic virtue. So then, what do you think is the foremost, most inescapable fate a person must bear?
The foremost fate? Not really sure, but for me to be me, and for you to be you? Or something like that.
Indeed. It is birth that is inescapable. You cannot choose who you are born to, and once your familial place is determined, that fate cannot be changed. Yet by some strange tangle of destiny, you were given a choice that the very act of existence denies most people. By your own will, you were born again as a prince. Do you understand? You stand on the threshold of truly becoming a ruler, not as an unearned title of bloodline's chance, nor as a mere authority over people. You have taken control of your life. You are ready to rule your very self. That is what it truly means to be a hero. And it is the crux of the power that is awakened within you. What glorious coincidence indeed, that I, as a scholar of archetypes, might cross paths with and witness such a remarkably
Hat der König das alles geplant?
It almost bespeaks.
Indeed, 'tis his hands that bear our fate.
Who?
Es war nicht der König. Ha.
I remember. I know that I know this voice. Had I forgotten it all this time? Yes. I swear I've heard it before. And I let it slip from my mind. Who are you? You with this voice that moves hearts. Speak. Who are you? Why have you awakened this boy to his power?
If it is answers you seek, then go and claim them.
Are you? Could you be?
As for you, I bid thee awaken. Move onward to thy final ordeal. Take thy place at the final proving of the ascension of kings.
Du willst antworten? Hol sie dir. Genau so. Geil. Anscheinend.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Oh, wir haben jetzt... Oh, das ist süß. Wir haben jetzt Blumen mit... Gallica mit... Jetzt will ich mal Blumen sagen. Gallica mit daneben liegen.
Okay. All our preparations are just about set. Now that this is actually happening, I've got some pre-show jitters.
All this royalty? I always felt they lived in a different world to the likes of me. Never figured I'd be walking alongside one myself.
'Tis proof that bloodline decides nothing. We are one people living in a shared world.
Looks like this is gonna be our last mission. Any final words you want to say?
We can't give up. Stand strong to the end.
Of course. No way we're losing here. I've got the fire in my eyes now.
About the new stuff you've felt and learned since becoming the prince. Can I ask you one more thing? Why is it that you want to be king? It's not about honor or power, is it?
I want to protect this country and its people.
'Tis the answer I hoped for. As your knight, I will ever serve you with all my soul and ability.
Well, I guess this means we're ready as we're gonna be.
Okay. Ich soll also...
Let us hurry.
This place here.
Let's move.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
After having made sacrifices, the group has gained new powers and ascertained new truths. Their arch-enemy, Luis, already has one hand on the throne. Even so, they march ever forward, spirits rekindled by battle. They head to Grand Trad, for the fight is far from over.
Ich glaube nicht, dass der Kampf jetzt sofort kommt. Das würde keinen Sinn machen.
That elden boy is nowhere to be found. I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
Speaking of which, I don't see the general. The voice of the pro-Luis faction became too overwhelming. He was ultimately forced out of his position. Why is this happening? Even if the Sanctus Church's favor has collapsed, why is it that Luis alone is reaping the benefits?
The public mind is the same as it's always been. It's too difficult to find answers in themselves, so they follow those who provide. We've certainly relied on that ourselves.
It's always easier to follow than to have to make all the risks yourself. Now that we are out of ideas, what can we do?
Can you imagine Luis on the throne? Can you imagine what he'd do with us? We'd be the first on the chopping block. Do we hide? Run? Our ships are in port.
Is this really the time for idle chit-chat?
Who are you?
Just a passing wastrel. Thought I'd drop in for a word since I was in the area. You might have one way to survive.
Aus irgendeinem Grund ist der voll auf unserer Seite und ich weiß einfach nicht warum. Sympathie? I don't know. Er hat dieses Buch nicht verstanden.
Well then, let us depart.
Lord Luis, your pardon. We've encountered an unexpected snag. I killed the prince in the Elden village. I confirmed his death, yet it appears the boy candidate has merged with his corpse. It seems the prince is now resurrected.
Resurrected?
Yes, and what's more, the boy candidate was the actual prince after all. Something about his soul having traveled independently and then returning to his corporeal body.
I see. So his ideal form was spun from Magla. Whatever the case, this means the land's true prince has reawakened in his sanctum. How interesting. After these long years, my
Hey, wie doof musst du sein, wirklich dazu stehen und zu sagen, oh, nach so einem Feind habe ich schon ewig gesucht. Das zeigt doch nur, wie bekloppt er ist.
Lord Luis, what is it about that bastard that fascinates you? Yeah, I won't let it end like this. I have to do better. I need more power. I will show Lord Luis I am
Alter, bist du
worthy
gestört.
of his gaze.
We'll soon be arriving above the royal capital.
Excellent. As planned, increase altitude and enter the royal palace in the sky.
Are you certain? We'll be heading directly to His Majesty, the former king, and...
Rest assured. That old fool is powerless to stop me now. Proceed.
Understood.
Let the final banquet begin.
Come on, any takers? Any bets for the other candidates? Remember, if Luis loses, a silver coin could turn into mountains of reeds.
What are you trying to say? You think Count Luis is going to lose?
Oh, no, of course not. I'll just say.
I'll call that bet. All in on His Highness the Prince.
Ach, Bartlin, du bist echt geil.
Just bigwig gambling away his tithes. This really is the end of the world. Didn't know his esteemed princeliness had any supporters left.
I mean, he's not really the prince, is he? Was actually a monster in disguise all along. Haven't you heard the news?
The times we live in, I tell you.
Must be tough, being an easy mark. It didn't take much for you to buy everything Luis was selling about the prince. The fireworks went off the moment he said, "Behold." Remember? You don't think there's any chance Luis orchestrated the entire thing?
Oi, churchman! You've seen Count Luis lie to
Weil
us.
ja noch nie
You think he
gelogen hat.
cast some big illusion?
An illusion, eh? What if I said it's a power more dangerous than that? Always struck me as odd. We all know Luis, the mighty human slayer, but how does he keep finding the things one after another? Seems a bit convenient, if you ask me. Like he knows in advance where these monsters will appear to cause havoc.
Easy to nitpick and gripe about him, isn't it, churchman? Maybe someone needs to shut you up.
All right. Let's keep things civil, eh? No sense becoming a monster yourself.
Oi! What's all this fuss about? Damn it! When Count Luis is king, you'll all be the first at the gallows. You'll die just like Forden.
Well, they're probably just as anxious as the rest of us. All that yelling and thrashing helps fight it off. Humans have been sighted near the capital, after all.
It's more than that. Pockets of society have resented the upper class for ages now, but this might be the spark that lights the kindling. Luis's respect for power is certainly cruel, but it's fair to an extent. Those of us pushing the status quo have always struggled to understand the appeal.
Even then, everyone's on edge. They'll jump at any excuse to argue and snarl at each other. Never seen it this bad. Not normal, I say.
Blind fanaticism and doom go hand in hand. If we don't find some common ground soon, it'll collapse beneath us. Luis left saying that he'd be waiting at the royal capital. Only one place he could be. All eyes are on his Skyrunner as it rises to the flying palace. What are we about to see?
Ah, the royal palace. It's been a while. Do you hear me, O king? Stubborn and deathless? This country is distorted. You and the other titled authorities decide who grows fat and who is devoured. The country knows no war only because our very core is built upon a system of societal predator and prey. It cannot be defied from within. That is peace, but not order. Hand over the royal scepter. The game is over. The country needs change, and I will provide it.
Thou impertinent faith breaker, hast thou no shame in preempting the day of judgment?
Do you presume yourself a god? Is that why you wrought your face in stone and took it to the heavens? You're nothing. Just an ordinary, broken old man.
How wouldst thou wield the king's magic? To what end?
To purify all that your kind have left to rot. You threw away your ideals, but I will never make that mistake.
Only the people's chosen may take the throne. The royal scepter and its resting place remain beyond you.
This royal scepter, the royal magic. Did you think that only generations of kings were aware of their secrets? Why someone can manipulate world-changing power by use of only a single scepter? Why only those supported by the people can use it? Listen well, O king. The truth behind the royal magic. Huh. So it's true. The country truly is putrid with sin. In other words, if I took hold of it now, then I would have the power to change the world itself.
How didst thou learn of this?
How?
Habe ich mir schon gedacht, dass das fake ist.
Thou art Elda.
You were not always blind to this country's rot. When you visited our sanctum, I saw and knew the passion in your heart. And yet, what happened to our village? What happened to this country?
Oh.
You cannot stop me any longer. Nor can anyone else. Save one lone possibility.
Snatching victory from the maw of catastrophe, the party descends again on the royal capital, Grand Trad. But they are greeted only by ominous skies. Their return hardly counts as a triumph, considering how they departed. Anticipating conflict, the gauntlet runner comes to a quiet stop.
Das ist schon wieder so eine Überlänge-Folge.
What the hell's wrong with the sky?
Isn't that... Boy! That monster boy's come back! Ah, that's why the sky's grown so hellish. The half-dead bastard returns with his head held high.
A more aggressive welcome than I expected. Would any introductions help them to understand?
It's useless. Words are cheap. Still, we should walk with pride instead of trying to keep our heads down.
True enough.
His Royal Highness, the Prince, returns! Luis distorted his form through strange and terrible magics, but the curse is now dispelled. His true form has been restored!
Oi, if that's really His Highness, then tell us why in His Majesty in the sky stop all this bloodshed?
'Cause he's an imposter! Just like Count Luis said! You're not fool us again, beast!
Oi! Calm down. At least listen.
And you! Never thought I'd see one of the Magnus brothers standing against Count Luis, even the thick one. He took in a paribus like you, and you spit on him! Scum! Only thing traitors deserve is a tight rope and a stiff beam. And you want us to support the prince?
Lady Juno, I can't believe this. I admired you. Why would you risk dying alongside some fake prince? I don't intend on dying with anyone. Besides, I'm still me, whoever I'm standing with.
Hey, you chief! Weren't you the wretch who got kicked out of the knighthood? Now you're with this
Oh
pack
mein
of
Gott,
throne
die sind ja
chasers.
eklig.
Shame! Mustari girl! You ungrateful pagan! Count Luis brought down the Sanctus Church for you! How dare you strike out at him? They're all traitors, I say!
What is all this? The truth of the prince hardly matters to them. Every one of them's only concerned with their own emotions and nothing else.
We'll have your heads on pike soon enough.
Ich glaube, das ist genau die Wut, die er braucht, um seinen Zauber wirken zu können.
If they're just monsters, We can deal with them ourselves. How about it?
This is bad. They really are out for our blood. Has everyone gone insane?
Oi, over here! Don't bother with them. No talking this one out. You need to run, now!
We weren't away from the city that long. What happened? Why are all the people so bloodthirsty now?
The prince turning into a monster before their eyes still lingers in their minds. After all, a monster entered into their society disguised as a person.
No, that's not...
I know, it's not true. But truth and how it appears to the citizens are different beasts. Moreover, humans have been sighted closer than ever before. The royal capital's populace is unused to danger, so they've become suspicious of each other. How fares your neighbor? Do you run in circles with monsters in disguise? Are questions on the tip of every tongue. Ever since Fordman's death, Luis has everyone on a knife edge. He's erratic, and nobody knows how he'll react to those who defy him if push comes to shove.
So, at the core of it, people are scared witless, and they cling to Luis as a savior, rather than the devil he is.
You well know that Luis cares not one whit about social status, especially as a token of birthright. No amount of wealth or standing can buy his protection. So even those who may have opposed him at first now counsel that condemning him would be imprudent, as it puts their safety at risk.
Then we're stuffed. He won't save anyone, and oh yeah, he can create humans, by the way.
Oh, that's all true then. I have my suspicions, but it's still a bit of a jolt. This all said, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the people now has been in the works for some time. Now, has the tournament for the throne truly ever been a fair contest? The Sanctus Church bent it to its whim, and I abetted that. To my shame. Before I met you people, I didn't have much to me but anger and quips. Yeah, I'd rant and snipe and have my cynical little discourse, but I'd only looked to others for change. Now maybe that outlook's our real enemy. Blind fanaticism, like I had. Even if there's no malice to it, it's a dangerous thing. Hard to think clear when your mind's a muddy stream.
We've been told Magla is born from people's anxiety. Perhaps the proof is now before our eyes.
Kind of ironic. But we have to do something about it. If we don't, they'll never listen. We'll only ever be seen as an enemy.
I had the inn prepared. They won't let anyone in but you lot. Let's head there for now, shall we?
Meine Lieben, ich mache hier einen Cut rein. Wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Es war wieder sehr viel Exposition. Wir wissen jetzt um Louis' Geheimnis, dass er ein Elder ist. Ich habe eben, also ab einem gewissen Punkt, als sie in der Stadt meinte, es gab mal eine alte Abstammung, habe ich jetzt überlegt, kann es halt sein, dass er halt wie der Prinz auch halb und halb ist. Aber das würde jetzt nicht passen, weil der Prinz ja als einzigartig gilt. Da habe ich schon überlegt, gut, aber ich muss sagen, ohne seine Hörner sieht er fast schon einen Ticken besser aus. Ich weiß auch gar nicht, warum man sich unbedingt so große Hörner geben musste, wo alle anderen Clemar so kleinere Hörner haben. Vielleicht hätte Louis mal danach gehen müssen, dass nicht die Größe manchmal essentiell ist, aber sei es drum. Wir haben jetzt wieder viel erfahren. Es ist katastrophal jetzt, wie die Stimmung im Lande ist, wenn man bedenkt, dass Louis Menschen erschaffen kann durch die Ängste der Menschen. Es könnte schwierig werden. Den kann ich nicht erschaffen. Warum? Attentäter auf 10. Shit. Aber der hat auch gar nicht das, was ich brauche. Der hat das, was ich brauche. Ja, bitte. Endlich, ey. Dankeschön. Endlich habe ich die stärkste Magierform. Hat ja auch kaum gedauert. Oh, das sieht cool aus.
I see.
Nächstes Mal schauen wir uns mal um. Es wird bestimmt noch ein paar Questen geben, behaupte ich. Was hat er denn jetzt eigentlich? Den Prinzen. Okay. Was kann der denn noch lernen? Heldenprüfung und unbefleckte Strahlen, okay. Könnte interessant werden, wenn ich ehrlich bin. Schauen wir mal. Achso, kann er beides lernen? Er kann beides lernen. Moment. Das machen wir doch einmal kurz. Ich fand ja die Antwort an Mo so geil. Du willst was rausfinden? Geh raus in die Welt und find selbst raus. Soll das heißen, er hat sich schon lang genug versteckt?
New skills, new possibilities.
New skills, new possibilities. Na komm. Ja. Wir müssen Luna jetzt auch langsam mal auf Rang 6 kriegen, damit ich bei ihr auch die bessere, den besseren Archetyp Krone der Ehrfurcht.
Good. I'm still getting stronger.
Damit wir da auch mal die bessere Form kriegen, wenn ich ehrlich bin. Aber mal schauen. Ich wünsche euch einen schönen Tag. Wir sehen in der nächsten Folge, ob es jetzt noch ein paar Nebenquesten gibt. Ansonsten, ich glaube, es geht wirklich bis zum 26. Oktober. Das heißt, das Spiel wird mir vermutlich so bis zum 24., 25. Zeit geben. Das heißt, ich habe noch ein bisschen Zeit, um meine Social Links, die ja hier die Anhänger sind, auf Maximum zu bringen. Juna fehlt, Euphor fehlt. Er ist noch ganz hinten ab, aber Neuras fehlt nur noch 1. Hier fehlen nur noch 3 und da fehlen auch nur noch 1. Also ich halte das für sehr machbar. In einem knappen Monat müsste das sein. Ich wünsche euch einen schönen Tag und haut rein.